Okay, this is one that I've gotten quite a few times, which is Onslaught versus. I've heard it pronounced Empire as well as Imperiex, of course, the Prime version. So I'll give you the quick background on both characters. Onslaught was a great job from Marvel doing long form for storytelling. During Fatal Attractions, if you know about Fatal Attractions, that was an X-Men crossover that's most notably known for Magneto ripping the adamantium out of Wolverine, practically killing him in the process. And then Xavier mind-destroying Magneto. Well, years later, the repressed anger of Charles Xavier essentially combined itself with the remnants of Magneto's mind, which then gave birth to the being known as Onslaught. Onslaught, to become even more powerful, actually got Franklin Richards, Sue and Reed's kid, who is a supremely powerful reality warper. But he needed one other piece. He also captured Nate Gray. Nate Gray, of course, is another one of the progenies of Jean Grey, along the same lines as Strife and Cable. Of course, Nate Gray's probably known for being created by, he was created by Mr. Sinister to be a tremendously powerful telekinetic and telepath designed to be able to burn himself out in a battle against Apocalypse, therefore killing Apocalypse but having him be so weak that he was nothing but a husk, so Sinister could then usurp all the reign of the Age of Apocalypse. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'll just call him Empire. Empire. He is effectively the Big Bang trapped in a suit. He is called the Destroyer of Galaxies. He's actually fairly close to like an Anti-Monitor level villain. He was primarily known for Our World's War, which was a year-long storyline they did, probably through the Superman comics, where it allowed Superman to reduce the amount of side characters that he had. It's also what led to one of the first times of the big sun dip. They kind of threw in other characters, and it was a way to, again, reduce characters. I want to say they killed off Aquaman off panel during this one. Guy Gardner Warrior also died. And they also said that 8 million other people were killed. This also allowed them to destroy planets like Daxam. Onslaught, on the other hand, what he ended up doing and is most notably known for is, of course, I think it was Marvel Universe Onslaught. They were able to destroy his armor, which made him a being of pure energy, and then all of the Avengers dove into his body, essentially being destroyed. Effectively, they were then put into a pocket universe called Heroes Reborn, which was supposed to go 12 issues, ended up going 13, which was a World War III where they tied in other characters. I'm drawing a blank on World War III because most people don't talk about the 13 issues from the Heroes Reborn story arc. So of course they did probably choose Onslaught to make like, hey, here's some number ones, here's years to do more number ones. So I'm looking at two people who are massive energy constructs housed inside armor. If I were to add points for who was a cooler design, man, it's freaking Onslaught. That is amazing. Who's also better villain in a fighting game? Onslaught. Of course, the villain in Marvel vs. Capcom. So, I'll run through some of their abilities. They both have like the divine presence. They both have their super strength. They both have levels of vulnerability. They're both energy-based beings. They also are both reality warpers. So let's try to get through this. And as always, I use the 9 criteria. If it's 4 to 5, being with 5 more likely should win. But you make the case for the person with 4 to win. 6 to 3, the farther away it gets, the easier it is to make the case that that being is going to be more superior. Intelligence. Onslaught does have the ability to connect to all of the minds of mutants. So he actually has a very good global amount of intelligence, as well as having some good use when it comes to astral plane projection. So he knows physical Earth and lots of the astral realm. Imperiex is actually, I'll say Empire. Empire is very much known for devouring galaxies and restarting universes. He's been around for a very long time. One of the first things you show him, he's actually trying to understand some of the cosmic anomalies that exist and ways to remove them. So if you want a more recent idea of what he's like, if you read The Green Lantern a couple years ago, there's a being called Relic. Relic and Empire are very much identical characters. But Empire has also been around for a tremendously long period of time. So while Onslaught has a great amount of global knowledge, he's taken on an individual who very, very much has hit more of the galactic and a multi-universal sort of language and sort of intelligence. Fighting ability. Sometimes the abilities don't quite match up well. Neither one of these two are known for a tremendous amount of fisticuffs. There are also giant energy forms trapped inside suits. I will actually give this to Onslaught, because if anything, Onslaught, he had his physical battles, he at least showed a greater level of skill. I'm well aware of the fact that Empire actually did have a time where he fought Superman, and Superman was able to speed blitz him and do some pretty good damage to him. Of course, this is Superman going all out under the tutelage of Mongol. So if you're able to be, physically beaten down by Superman, you're probably not that great in the world of being a fighter. Again, this is one that's really tough to do because when it comes to the amount of fighting that Onslaught did, Onslaught did do more physical combat. He did a pretty good job when it came to battling someone like Hulk, or battling the combination of Rogue when Vision decided to phase shift into Rogue, which makes an awesome visual. Strength. I'll give that to Empire. When it comes to who he actually did battle with and held his own against, he took on an angry Superman who was told to not hold back. Onslaught had issues holding down a version of Hulk that didn't have Banner in them. And if I had to compare the two, I'm thinking that a bannerless Hulk is very strong. But being able to trade blows effectively with a Superman that's going all out, who's actually cheap shotting, he held his own fairly well and was able to overpower Superman. I would think that bannerless Hulk, who is then actually to break free from the grips of Onslaught, is probably fairly equivalent to an all-out Superman. But Empire was able to actually hold down all-out Superman, where Onslaught was not able to. Speed. Again, I'll give that to Empire, probably because he was actually able to hold his own and do fairly good speed blitz to Superman. Invulnerability. Onslaught's suit was busted open by bannerless Hulk. How did they break open Empire's suit? Well, Superman had to combine himself with Kismet. That was also the Strange Visitor, which ended up being effectively the electro powers of Superman. Superman actually had to merge with another individual to crack the armor. So again, I'm looking at unmerged bannerless Hulk versus all-out Superman with another being absorbed into him. Durability, I'll give that to Onslaught. The weird thing is, if you destroy the armor of Onslaught, the consciousness and the energy still exists, and it's still movable. If you break the armor of Imperiex, well, one, it unleashes a Big Bang. Two, his power actually dissipates. He still has the consciousness, but he's not one cohesive unit. Raw EP. This is that, what is that big shot that they've done? Empire was able to, with one motion, turn Doomsday into a skeleton. I'll put that into some perspective. This, of course, is Hunter Prey Doomsday, but Doomsday was able to take an Omega Eye Blast. That's a pretty impressive shot. And was still okay. He's taken a tremendous amount of other abuse from multiple other characters. And he's survived. Empire just went, you're an anomaly. And stripped all of the skin off of him and all of the muscle fiber and left him a skeleton. And he was actually able to do fairly decent damage to War World. So if his one shot was able to effectively destroy Doomsday, that's an impressive one shot. Versatility. I went back and forth on this one. They're both reality warpers. Empire also has the ability to create energy clones and duplicates. He's able to create probes. He has a vast array of energy manipulation powers. Also can time travel and teleport. But I'm going to give the versatility edge to Onslaught. Because it's stated that Empire has reality warping abilities and time travel. Onslaught casually made a secondary son. He also has the power of 4 incredibly powerful mutants simultaneously. So he's a high-level telekinetic, astral projection, high-level reality warper, magnetism. So he's got he might not have the vast assortment of powers, but his powers are very devastating. And looking at the two of them, it's like one can do energy constructs. Okay. Energy constructs versus the power of Master of Magnetism. Onslaught could take this fight effectively to, if you really need to, he effectively could take it up to the astral plane, where Imperiex doesn't really have feats when it comes to what you do in the astral plane. So when it comes down to it for X Factor, I'm going to give it to Empire. I was thinking this part through. Okay, let's say Onslaught cracks the armor of Empire. It's the Big Bang. They're both destroyed. We'll say Empire cracks the armor of Onslaught. Onslaught's an energy-based being. Okay? Taking on a person who has energy manipulation abilities as well. So that means he actually could crack the armor of Onslaught and then absorb Onslaught. Where if Onslaught cracks open the armor of Empire, reality warping capabilities, but he's not containing the Big Bang. So if Onslaught cracks a shell, he's gone. He's destroyed. Even though the conscious could go on to the astral plane, he effectively has destroyed a universe. Imperiex has the ability to recreate universes, as well as destroy universes. The power that he has is vast. It's vast. Onslaught, an impressive villain. I think he would pair very well with someone like a Darkseid. I think you could do a really interesting job with someone like him. Empire is the fact they had to use a combination of the Entropy Aegis, which was an Empire probe that Apocalypse, the planet, was able to get a hold of, and they actually refashioned a suit to put John Henry Irons, steel, into. And then they had to focus energy through that, as well as using Tempest and the Omega I-beams. They had to focus a lot of things on Empire to do damage to him. And then once, of course, they ended up combining the Might Empire with Brainiac into Warworld, which then makes Superman then had to sun dip, then use a boom tube to push that through to have it explode and create the Big Bang, which is the cosmic anomaly that Empire was going after. Again, if I'm making mistakes, correct me in the comments. Keep it nice. So I think if these two were to get into a battle, Imperiex can one-shot him. Onslaught is going to have to try to use a lot of different variations of moves. Because initially, when Mongol and Superman are there, Empire's like, Then they attack me, he's like, fine. You've got my attention now. Back to my computer work. That Doomsday? Wasn't he last... Wait a minute. So, Doomsday was the thing that killed Superman at that point at the end of time, and then 0 Hour happened, and then things happened weird at time, which led Brainiac to go get you from there, and then Brainiac tried to put his mind inside Doomsday. It didn't quite work as well. That's when Doomsday actually destroyed the Justice League pretty effectively. And then to make sure no one could capture him again, Superman flew through like 3 different teleporters, so he's constantly different locations that they were to get tampered with. He gets shot out in like the middle of space. That's who you are? Fat. Alright. And on you, Superman. Oh, you just got boom tubed away to Apocalypse. See, Darkseid was like, he dead. I got him. Plucked him out. And the fact that it took Superman combined with another energy-based being to damage him. That's an impressive shot. I think the overall ability that Empire has to absorb damage is going to be really hard to overcome. And the fact that he's stronger, faster. And his size actually changes from, like kind of Galactus size to full-fed, my finger is the size of like a full-grown human. And he's a legitimate planet destroyer. Where Onslaught has a capability of being such, but doesn't quite hit it.